Cord to the cloud. And all right, so let's get started. My sister is hiding. She might be joining us, but she's visiting here with my niece and her girlfriend from um, North Carolina. And so I'm very excited about that. So let's get started. So we'll start with some breath work. So one hand on the lower abdomen and the other hand on top. And start by first even just paying attention to the breath without even having to change it. Just notice if you're breathing more from the chest, if you are taking deep breaths, if your shoulders are hiked up towards your ears, and just use this moment to drop the shoulders down and then start to gently take a slower breath, really focusing on letting the lungs expand and the belly expand. So as you inhale, it should feel as your diaphragm presses down, gently squeezing the lower abdominal organs. It's like a gentle massage. The belly will puff out. And then on the exhale, the belly pulls gently back in towards the spine. So most of the breath in QiGong, in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice and slowly. There are some exercises that are more purging, where we will exhale through the mouth, but I will cue you on that. Want to come over? Okay. So nice. So we start with the breath because that's our quickest source of energy. Just think about inhaling. It's literally, we're breathing in life and energy. And the slower and more deeply that we are able to inhale, we will have more energy. We'll feel more energetic. So how we're breathing is a direct relationship to our energy levels. So nice, slow, deep breathing starts to elevate our energy. And we'll continue that same breath. So deep abdominal breathing, but we'll add in a little bit of movement with the arms. So clasp opposite elbows. And then on the inhale, very slowly raise your arms so your hands are still on the elbows. If you can, above your head. So just above. And then as you exhale, slowly bring the arms back down all the way. So full exhalation. And then swap now so the other hand is in front. So same thing, it's just one arm, the opposite arm is in front. And then inhale slowly. So we're getting a stretch through the intercostal muscles, the spaces between the ribs, and exhaling back down. And again, switching so the opposite arm is in front, and then slowly inhale. And just when you think you've inhaled at your max, see if you can sip in just a little bit more, and then exhale back down. So we'll do this a few more times. Go at your own pace. Just think about fully exhaling, switching the arms, and then inhaling nice and slowly. So we're stretching the mechanics of the breath here, and then back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And all the way down. Okay. So now we're going to go into something called knocking on the door of life. You might want to come over here just so you have more space. So this knocking on the door of life, this is the door of life. It's basically just the energy center in the lower back. So we start by turning from the hips and the waist, let the arms be nice and relaxed. And then as you pick up some momentum, the arms will start to knock across the lower abdomen and the lower back. So this is opening the spine, like we're rotating the spine and then knocking across some key energy points to raise our energy. So keeping Just think about the arms like little Raggedy Ann arms. So nice and loose and relaxed, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And then bring the hands up below the collarbone so you're still knocking across the low back. Opening up the lungs. And then we'll come to the very top of the shoulders. So make like a little cup with your hand, and you're knocking right at the apex of your shoulders. Just starting to loosen up some of those areas that we hold lots of tension in. And then we'll start to come back down. So back below the collarbone. And then back down to the waist. And then start to slowly unwind. So opening the spine, we do that first normally. So we just rotated. Now we'll flex and extend. So this is called spinal cord breathing. So we inhale and bring the hands up by your head, looking up. And on the exhale, curl the spine forward, tuck the tailbone down, and then bring your chin almost down to your chest. Just tuck the chin in slightly, and we'll open up the back. So as we inhale, unfurl, look up, and then exhale, curling the spine forward, letting the chin tuck down. And then slowly inhale. So we're getting a nice stretch through the whole front of the shoulder. And then on the exhale, a nice stretch all the way from the sacrum really to the base of the skull. Think about opening up all of those spaces between each vertebrae. And it's a little bit of a pumping action also. So think about the fluid that's bathing the spine, the cerebral spinal fluid. And as we move the spine in all of these directions, we're helping to facilitate pumping of that fluid. So it's bathing and nourishing and soothing the central nervous system, right? All those intricate web of nerves that run through the spinal cord and the vertebrae. Inhale and exhale. So in Qigong, we do a lot of repetitive movements. Tai Chi is similar to Qigong. It's actually, I would consider it like a derivative of Qigong. Qigong is more repetition, and Tai Chi is sort of a martial arts version where you're learning specific movements in sequence, almost like a choreographed dance. Now inhale one more time and then exhale, drop the arms down and just close your eyes for a moment. Feel maybe a little bit of freedom throughout the spine, maybe through the chest. And then let's come to a wider stance. So this is now called moving the body like a river. So your hands will be on your thighs. You can be more perpendicular or you can come forward slightly, whatever feels good for you. But what we'll do is start shifting the weight from right foot to the left foot and then allow the rest of your body. So shifting first from below, shifting the weight from the waist, and then allowing your torso to move laterally, thinking about like a piece of seaweed at the bottom of the ocean, how it undulates with the waves, allowing the spine to undulate right and left. So we're moving the spine laterally, allowing the head and neck to be nice and relaxed. And here you can either, breathe however feels naturally. I like to inhale in one direction and then exhale in the opposite. But you don't want to be restricting the breath, but think about moving with your inhales and exhales. And again, if you want to make it a little more challenging, come a little more parallel to the ground, a little more leg strengthening. Or if you want to be a little more upright, that's totally fine. Whatever feels best for you. And then let's come to the center, palms at the center of the chest. We'll reconnect to the breath. So inhale the arms spread out and look up. And then exhale, sink the chest down slightly and look towards the earth. And then inhale and look up. And exhale, looking down. So just slowing the breath back down. And one more inhale and exhale. And let's do that one more time. So you can either, coming back to a squat, so you can either do exactly what we were just doing. We're doing moving the body like a river. If you want to give it a little more of a challenge, instead of having your hands on your thighs, you can, the palms will be facing forward and then almost like you're moving something from one side of the room to the other. It's a little bit more challenging because you're using more leg strength, not using your arms. But again, moving first, the hips and the waist and the body and the head arrive last. But finding that like the fluidity, the movement, mimicking a piece of seaweed undulating. Or you can keep your arms on your thighs. And then come to the center. Again, palms at the center of the chest. And then inhale, look up. So heart to the sky. And then exhale, heart to the earth. And inhale. And exhale. Just a few more times. Okay. Bring the feet back to a narrow stance. I meant to say this before. When we're in our neutral position, your feet are about outer hip distance apart. You have a nice firm foundation. So now we're going into something called Qi massage. So it's basically knocking on the body through the different meridians in Chinese medicine. So we'll start in the chest. So from the top of the sternum, and you want to knock. So you want to feel it, right? You don't have to be, unless it does not feel good, right? Sending a little bit of vibration is actually good. And then start to travel down the center of the chest towards the base of the rib cage, and then back up, and then back down. So starting to awaken and mobilize these energy pathways. And this is a big area where we hold emotions. So it might be a little bit more tender. Think about pulling things kind of out of the fascia, out of the tissue, so the body can process and maybe let go of things that have been sort of stuck and maybe even inhibiting proper breath. And then let's travel to, when I I'm going to give you cues. It's your right and left. So I'm going to say, come over to your right shoulder. So I know this is my left. So your right shoulder right in front, opening up the beginning of the lung channel. And then we'll travel down the inside of the arm, past the elbow, down the forearm, the fingertips, and then come up the outside of the arm. So fingertips, the outside of the forearm, upper arm, and shoulder. And then we'll do that again. So down the inside and up the outside. And let's come to the center, come over to the front of the left shoulder now. And then travel down the inside and up the outside. And we're just following the pathways. The yin meridians of the arms travel from the chest down to the fingertips, and the yang meridians travel from the fingertips back up, come to the center of the chest, down to the solar plexus, so right above the belly button. And then down to the lower abdomen. And now we'll travel around to the lower back. And then we'll travel down the back of the legs. You can bend the knees all the way to the feet. And then come up the inside of the legs. All the way back up to the hips. And we'll do that 2 more times. So coming back around, travel down. And then back up. And let's do it 1 more time. And then right over the belly button. And then drop the arms down and close your eyes for a moment. So part of the practice is starting to even feel our energy, which is there. We just have to unlock it, feel it circulating, and then we're able to direct it where we want it to go. But first, we need to be able to feel it. So this is a great exercise in sort of mobilizing that life force energy. And now let's do a gentle stretch for the head, neck, and shoulders. So either palms together, fingers facing down, or grab opposite elbows. And then let the head tilt over to the left. And then very gently on the inhale, let your head roll to the back of your shoulder. So the head stays over to the left. You're just rolling it towards the back of the shoulder on the inhale, and then exhale towards the front of the shoulder, nice and slow. So slow inhale, the head gently rolls back, and you should feel the muscles all the way up into the jaw as the head rolls back. So you're getting a stretch all through the front of the neck into the jaw. And then on the exhale, as the head rolls forward, the back of the neck, even into the shoulders. So going slowly, just think about unwinding and unlocking all of these areas that we tend to constrict and contract. Releasing the jaw. Any of us are clenchers. And then on the next exhalation, let your head come all the way forward. And then all the way over to the opposite side now. And again, on the inhale, let your head roll. So basically, when your head rolls back very gently, if this does not feel good in your neck, then you don't need to do this. And then exhale all the way forward. It's just a very gentle, you don't have to push your head over, just let gravity facilitate that stretch. Gently inhaling, opening up, oof, all of those pesky areas that get so tight, carrying the weight of the world right on our shoulders gets pretty heavy sometimes. So using the breath, slow movements, and attention and intention to help start to unlock and free up these areas. And then on the next exhalation, the head comes all the way forward. Let the arms drop down. Close your eyes for a moment. Just noticing, right? Starting to pay attention to the body. And as we move through these movements, how different things can feel with even these simple exercises. And then you can open your eyes and we will go into the flow section of class, but first let's shake. So start pumping the legs by bouncing the knees, and then let the hands start to shake, shaking and pumping the elbows. And this is actually a great one to exhale through the mouth as a way of purging and letting go. So inhale through the nose and exhale and inhale, exhale, inhale. Shaking any tension, emotional stagnation, worry. Imagine we're just shaking it off. And then start to slow down. Okay, so now that we've stretched, purged, warmed up, and activated, now we go into these real slow flowing movements. So this is less about doing and more about being, right? We're a lot of human doings. A lot of us are not human beings. Being in the moment, feeling your body, moving with the breath, and allowing your body to relax into these movements. So we'll start with something called open the flow. And the arms are nice and relaxed. Just think of moving with relaxation. On the inhale, the arms float up to shoulder height. And then on the exhale, first let the elbows drop and then the arms float down. Think about inhaling, letting the arms float up to about shoulder height. And then exhale, the arms float back down. And inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking back down. So through these exercises, once we get the mechanics down, the mechanics are important, knowing what are we doing here? What's the intention, right? It's about getting the mechanics and then letting go and relaxing into the movement. So feeling your arms, right, as they float up, feel the air moving across and through the fingertips, in between the fingers. And feel that wave of the breath, the wave of the spine as we inhale. Right? Energy is all around us, even though maybe invisible. We know that 99% of what's going on around us is not perceivable to the naked eye, at least human eye, right? We take in through our senses, but that's a fraction of what's actually going on. So this is a way of slowing down and starting to feel, or at least sense, that we're moving through really a field of energy. Much like a fish that doesn't know it's in water, we're constantly moving through the space, sort of unaware. So we're tapping into that and moving slowly, having our mind in the present moment, focusing on what is happening right now is a way of cultivating this ability. Staying present as a reminder that we really only have now, right? The futures we can plan for and, put things on the calendar, but ultimately in each moment, we only have right now. So powering up our ability to harness that. So now we're going to continue this. This is open the flow. We're going to continue to open the flow to the 6 directions. So on the next inhale, the arms float up, but then draw them in towards you. On the exhale, push away. Inhale, draw in. So fingertips together, pull in. And then now exhale to the sides. Inhale, pull in right in front of the forehead, the third eye. Open up the hands and make a little, like you're holding a little ball. And then slowly exhale that ball down the center line of the body, all the way back down. And that's the sequence. So inhale, the arms float up, pull in. Exhale, gently push. Fingertips together gently as you inhale and pull in again. Exhale to the space beside you. Fingertips extended. And then draw in right in front of the third eye. And then exhale down the center line of the body. So again, let's get the mechanics first. So inhale, big inhale as you move up and draw in. Exhale as you push forward, nice and slowly. Inhale, fingertips like you're pulling something in towards you. And now exhale to the sides. And same thing. Fingertips touch as you pull in right in front of the forehead and then exhale down. And we'll do that a few more times. So inhale, pull in, exhale, push forward. Inhale, exhale to the sides, and then slowly inhale, and then exhale. Moving with flow. So maybe imagine that you're in water, moving like you're in this vast, pristine lake. And you're just allowing the inhale, on the inhale, the arms to glide up through that water. Exhaling through. So as we pull the hands in is when we inhale and then exhale. And again, inhale. Letting the body relax, letting the mind be focused, but with relaxation. Right? We don't have to think our way through this. Once we have the mechanics, then we can just feel our way through this. Expanding even the perception of where we end and nature begins. And we're constantly drawing in on the inhale from the environment, and then we exhale, giving back to the environment. So the constant exchange of energy really means that where we end is not necessarily just the physical, the body, the skin, right? We extend outwardly. They now know that our hearts emit an electromagnetic field that can be calibrated. It can be picked up by about 16 feet away from us. So our physical body might end where we think we end, but we're vibrating and emanating well beyond the skin. So that one more time, inhale. So how do we learn to draw in and be fueled up by this energy around us? Having a acknowledging the relationship that we have with our surroundings and environment. So let the arms come all the way down in front of your lower abdomen, and imagine you're holding that ball again. So an imaginary ball. Just feel the space between your palms. You might notice a little tingling sensation, a little, almost like a magnet. Well, that's your own energy. And drop the arms down. So we'll continue with this theme of how we are really part of the space around us. This is called pulling the gossamer thread. So what we'll do is you can lean forward slightly towards the earth. Bring your thumb and your middle finger together so they're touching. Keep them touching as you roll the spine up, drawing the hands. So again, the thumb and middle finger are touching, coming all the way up above your head. Now spread out your fingers and exhale all the way down. And as we do, nice and slowly come back down towards the earth. Thumb and middle finger touch. Inhale, roll the spine up as you draw your hands all the way up, either side of your midline. And then exhale all the way back down. So one nice slow inhale. We come all the way up. And then nice slow exhale all the way back down. So pulling the gossamer thread. So the thread, right? Thinking about the space around us, this field. Like there's all different frequencies. And by touching the thumb and the middle finger, that's the pericardium channel, which is in Western medicine, it's that protective wrapper around the heart. It's a muscle that surrounds the heart. And we're drawing up. Think about tendrils from the earth that we're drawing up, nourishing the pericardium, opening up the heart. And then we open up the hands and exhale all the way back down, maybe as a gesture of gratitude. That reciprocity, right, of the earth, give and take. right? Just as the trees emit and give off oxygen, we breathe that in. We literally breathe in what the trees are giving us. And then in return, we exhale carbon dioxide, which the trees take up. So even if someone doesn't necessarily, uh, we'll say, kind of get or understand that the energy around us, I think everyone would understand that we literally take in and breathe in oxygen that becomes part of our cells, and that we exhale carbon dioxide that the trees pull in and incorporate into their being. So we're just tapping into that. Pulling in, drawing in, nourishing the heart, opening up the hands, and then exhaling. Let's do that one more time. And now let's come back to our chi ball for a moment. Just noticing how you feel. And then the final flow, we did open the flow to the 6 directions. This is pulling down the skies in 6 directions. So we'll start by inhaling the arms only to about shoulder height. So the palms are facing up. And then keeping the arms extended, just turn. So rotate from the hips and the waist over to your left. Now keeping your torso over to the left, just inhale your arms all the way up above your head. Now turn to the center. And then exhale the hands all the way back down. So inhale, arms out to the sides. Slow exhale as you rotate to the right. Continue that inhale all the way above your head. Then turn to the center and then slowly exhale back down. So moving on your own breath. So it's an inhale to the center. Exhale as we turn to the left. Inhale as we bring the arms all the way above the head. And then turn back to the center and then exhale all the way back down. And then inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale back to the center, all the way down. We'll do it a few more times. Inhale, rotate. Inhale all the way up, coming back to the center. And let the hands, just like little leaves, floating down to the earth. They float back down. Inhale, exhale, turn. Slow inhale, coming back to the center. And we'll do this one more time. So inhale to each side. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to the center. And exhale. And one last time. Inhale. Exhale over to the right. Inhale. Coming back to the center. Now let the hands come back down in our chi ball one more time. Just feeling space between the palms. And then let's bring the feet together. One hand on the lower abdomen and the other hand on top. So we'll end in this posture, which is called bamboo in the wind. So thinking about your feet planting down, and imagine that you have roots that are extending down the legs, through the soles of the feet, through the earth, this intricate web. And then as those roots extend downward, noticing and paying attention to those slight shifts that our body makes intuitively to keep us upright. Those gentle movements back and forth, left and right, frontwards and backwards, just like bamboo. So bamboo is an incredibly resilient plant. Some would say they can be pesky because they proliferate, but they have this really strong network of roots. And then they have the capacity to be very flexible. Like they bend, sometimes they're bent all the way back to the ground with weather and wind, but they eventually make it back upright. So think about the flexibility and resilience of the bamboo plant and how we can be a reflection of that as we go through life, feeling really rooted and planted and strong, and also graceful and resilient. And by nourishing not just the physical body with these practices, but our emotional center and our mindfulness, when those three centers are integrated, right, then we feel more whole. And really capable of amazing things. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. My sister, get over here. This is my sister. Mom's there.
How
Thank
cool.
you, everyone. Yeah, thanks for joining me again. We're in Jersey City because we're gonna go into Manhattan and we're gonna go see Wicked and have a lovely dinner. Yeah, so I'm very excited. But thank you all for joining me. Nellie, thanks so much. And Alex, right? Alex?
Alex, yeah. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Thank you. I hope to see you again. And I hope all of you have a really great and fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
See you Monday.
I'll see you Monday. Yes.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.